tonight we want to talk about and give everyone an update on the Singing River Hospital pension litigation.
Sure.
So, that is some of the big news down here, and for good reason. It affects a lot of people. And when you talk about retirement, there's nothing really more important to people than their, hard-fought retirement. So, absolutely, very excited about that tonight.
We're going to be going over what does it mean to the retirees with the Singing River settlement plan, and should you participate? A very valid question. How are you going to go about that process?
Yeah.
Matt, who did you bring with you tonight?
Well,
we all know.
We do. Quite frankly, I brought the expert.
Yes,
I brought my friend, my partner, and lead trial attorney in that litigation, Jim Reeves. There's nobody better to answer these questions than Jim Bowe, and he's here with us tonight.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
Jim, good to see you again, my friend. Actually, we've seen each other quite a bit this off season, but it's nice to be back on
almost
set.
Daily.
It is.
Almost daily. But it is good to be back on set.
Absolutely.
Jim, Happy New Year. I guess when you say something, we've done a lot of timely shows, BP, Chinese drywall. My gosh, we've done live legal shows right after massive verdicts have come down on the national. But this one, as far as locally here, this one is as hot as it gets.
Well, that's right. This has been front and center, this case, and the controversy surrounding it has been front and center for over a year now. And, rumors have been out. There's been a lot of misunderstanding about what's going on in terms of the settlement. And so finally, the first week of this year, we were able to publicly announce the settlement. It has been filed. Petitions are pending in federal court to have it approved. And so things are moving along in 2016 really quickly and really well.
And Jim, in fact, you made some graphics. We've got some graphics here to go over some of the big things coming up here for 2016 with the proposed settlement.
And so basic tenets of the settlement, really the bare bones structure of it are as follows. It includes 100% repayment of all the missing money since 2009. As you recall, Kenny, basically beginning in 2010, Singing River Hospital quit contributing pension plan money. And so this accounts for all of that money, including interest that would have been accrued on that money during the time period, and from 2009 to 2014. In addition, and a part of the settlement that I'm really proud of, and doesn't always happen in these cases, is the fact that no pension plan member will have to pay any attorney's fees or expenses for participating in this settlement.
Right.
So we're very, very proud of that.
And then also you have the watchdog side of this as well, don't you, Jim?
That's right. So the other part of the settlement was not just monetary. This case is a little different that way. We want to make sure that the problems, the structural problems that we felt like contributed to the collapse of the pension plan were not in place going forward, and so that pension members had a fair shake at being treated properly from here going forward. We have a graphic that talks about that, I think. And so
there it is.
What it requires going forward is this. We have a special fiduciary that's appointed by the state chancery judge, not appointed by a hospital, not affiliated with a hospital in any way.
Third party.
That's right, whose sole responsibility is to make sure hospital pension plan members are treated right. The other component of this that is going to protect pension members going forward is there's continued court monitoring or supervision. You've seen this in other cases, for instance, like the Harrison County jail case, where the courts continue to monitor settlements, and that's going to happen in this case. So before anything can ever take place in terms of a change to this plan or modification to this plan, that watchdog, the special fiduciary, and the state chancery court has to both approve it as being a fair modification. Otherwise, it can't change. And so we think that's a big and significant deal in this case.
Absolutely. And I guess, Matt, the thing that's been, I guess, the most striking about this is how personal this case has been for the whole area, hasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Their cases and their cases, Kenny, really. And, I'm born and raised in Jackson County. I've got family at the hospital. We have, these are neighbors, these are friends of mine, up and down the line. And, this is, when you start talking about retirement, it doesn't get, any more serious than that. And, these are people we care about, people we see constantly, friends of ours, family members of ours. And, we care deeply about this result. And quite frankly, we're very proud of this, Kenny, to be honest with you. This is some darn good work. And I have to tell you, very proud of it.
We really do believe this is, sometimes lawsuits do good things. We like to think most of the time, and we think in this one it's done some very good things. And so the final component of the settlement that we thought was critically important is that the hospital have a fair chance going forward to survive, because if the hospital doesn't survive, the pension plan can't recover the additional $150 million. And so we were able to negotiate a change in leadership down there. And so we essentially, as part of the settlement package, the trustees who were in place for the past 10, 12, 15 years in some cases are resigning, and new trustees are being appointed. So it's a fresh new day. Right. I think there's going to be significant changes in the hospital for the better in very, very short order as a result. Here's the way it works, Devin. You'll be, as part of, if you're a member of the pension, you'll be receiving notice sometime probably in the next 30 days of this potential settlement and class action. It'll lay out in detail what the settlement entails and what you do or do not need to do to participate. There will also be a website set up at some point, probably in the next 30 days, with frequently asked questions that you can go to make a determination as to whether you want to participate. If you decide and think it is in your best interest to participate, participating is easy. You basically do nothing, and you'll be included in the settlement if it's approved and certifications granted. So that's basically the way that works. And so if you look at it, you feel like you want to be part of it, you don't even need an attorney at that point. You basically do nothing, and you're included in the settlement if it's approved.
Sure.
Matt?
Oh, and also we're going to have details, of course, on our website. We're going to have very current information on ours. And, and of course, and also, Jim and I are available to talk. I mean, we're not just here on TV. We have a law practice, and we're available. So, you can get us on the phone, make an appointment, sit down, and we'll happily, show you what we can and show you all the official documents and answer any question we can.
We have money that's in the pension retirement plan now. We have an infusion of capital over a number of years of another $150 million or so. And so the special fiduciary who's been appointed will at some point, I anticipate this will take some time because it's complicated stuff, probably the next 3-6 months will come out with a proposal kind of going forward. It may look like the current version of what's being paid out now. It may look somewhat different, but none of it can be done without either his approval, express approval and support, and this is important, approval by the state judge who's supervising the repayment plan. And so if either one of those individuals are not happy with the plan as it's proposed to go forward or any modifications, they simply say no.
Jim, let me just follow up here, and I think if Evan was still on the line with us, when you say that he doesn't have to do anything to participate, if he doesn't need to contact you, or if he's got a retirement account with them, he's in. He's in.
Right. Basically, by default, if you don't voice an objection, say you don't want to be, don't think it should go forward as a settlement, then you're included.
Well, that's pretty convenient.
That makes it easy.
Well, maybe convenience is the wrong word. This has been a stressful process, but as far as the settlement goes, if you want to be a part of it, you just hang tight. Jim, you talked about it earlier in the show. Will he have to pay an attorney's fee?
No, we won't. And that's one of the things I'm proud of in this case. One of the things we insisted on once we began negotiating. Look, generally these cases are signed and handled on a contingency basis, and people are forced to then pay a percentage of what's recovered to the attorney, and that's legitimate, and that happens in most types of cases. But in this particular case, we felt like, pension holders have worked hard for their pension.
Right.
They've done nothing wrong, and in the end, shouldn't have to share what should have been theirs anyway with the attorneys. And so we negotiated a separate deal so that anybody who participates in this plan will not have to pay any attorney any fee or expense related to the litigation. I'm very, very proud of that. That doesn't always happen. Quite often as not, it doesn't happen in these kinds of cases. But I'm glad we're able to prevail on that, and I think it's very important for the people.
Matthew, that was a priority from y'all from the very beginning, wasn't
it? From the get-go, Kenny.
For the whole team.
Absolutely. People would come into your office, and they're scared to death. It's their retirement.
Right.
And the last thing we want to do is say, and we're going to take some too, by the way. While everyone else says, let us join in. So it was a priority, and very thrilled we could kind of make this, hopefully, finish this out and make this happen, and people aren't going to have to pay. It's a very, Jim and I are very proud. And I don't want everyone to understand, this is not Jim and Matthew's settlement.
Right.
This has been a collaborative effort by a lot of lawyers. Some out of state. Birmingham, Oxford. We've had federal mediators involved. There's been a lot of folks, a lot of good people have rolled up their sleeves to get this done. And we've had meetings, and sometimes there've been 25 plus lawyers, and a lot of great work. And so and understand that this is a lot of people pulled hard to pull this together. But also a lot of credit goes to Jim. Truthfully,
Sure.
He's lead federal trial counsel. hospital. That gives him certain responsibilities and obligations that are no joke. I mean, if something's wrong, the federal, he gets called down to the carpet, and so that's important. And he's done a great job, and I'm really proud of the job he's done. I'm proud of the job everyone's done, but particularly Jim's done a great job and deserves a lot of credit.
Matthew, I appreciate that, buddy. We cut up a lot on the show, but I do appreciate that. And Matthew did a tremendous amount of work on this case too. And I can just say, we took our responsibilities very seriously. This was a complicated case, and a lot of good attorneys, took a pass on it because it was complex, hard, and really at the beginning, a lot of people didn't think this thing could be resolved in any kind of favorable way. So, very, very proud. We've been very fortunate, very blessed, and got a great staff. Matthew did a great job, and we look forward. And the other thing that sort of I think is worth noting in this case is there's a lot of attorneys involved, and virtually everybody, with the exception of a couple, and you always have a couple in a case this size, agree and think it's a great deal going forward, and we do too. And we're glad to hopefully get this chapter put behind the pension holders and everybody on the
get towards the resolution.
That's
right.
right.
Matt, did I hear you say that y'all reviewed like 100,000 files or
documents? I mean, the case's size, Kenny, it's just tremendous, and and as I said, it's just nothing we did alone. We had lawyers in Mobile, Birmingham, all over, and so there's just the volume of information has been unbelievable. We have to sift through that, be familiar with it, and get it to experts and review all that incredible amounts of financial information.